Nice to be back together with my alter ego Star Wars inspired Arthur D2. And also, I hope that the purpose of our first module was clear to you, but also allow me to quickly recap the structure and importance of module 1. First module, what is the science sprint, is designed to ensure that you have a good understanding of the science sprint. So its definition, how did it start? I think this is very important because these two topics will give you context or idea on where design sprint can be applied. What problem does it solve? Right? From where was it given birth or importance? Of course, I cannot deep dive and explain everything in a short course like this, but I hope I was able to help you understand its root because as I've said, understanding the root of the methodology will give you context of the problem it solves and the proven environment where it thrived, right? So on your end, you can adapt in your own scenario and see similarities and differences, why it may potentially succeed, and how you can use it to maximize its value. The case study part was also intended to be there to give you clear examples of real life business problem it solved. So you understand and see that it's not just theory, it has been applied in a real working environment to showcase that it's also applicable or it's not only applicable in international companies but also in local setup, that it is not only for startups but also for corporate environment as well, that you do not need to replace your existing methodology or problem solving approach but rather to supplement it, as I myself is not a fan of a one size fits all methodology. As you are aware, I myself applies Lean Six Sigma, design sprint, or even some data analytics approach to solve problems, depending on the need, of course, or the problem I'm trying to solve. I encourage you as well to reflect and list down as to how you can potentially use design thinking in design sprint. It's kind of tedious, but I find it very effective when I'm writing down scenarios because this also triggers my brain to think. So I encourage you do it for you to reflect on scenarios where you can potentially apply design sprint based from what you've seen. Maybe you can already see some potential solutions that where you may apply it with or apply it to, right? But aside from that, let's go to our second module, the second part of this course. On to our second module. In here, we will help you understand and perhaps even learn design thinking. If we said earlier that design sprint uses design thinking, what is then the fundamental difference of design thinking versus design sprint? First up on our list is to understand what is design thinking. Allow me to use the definition by IDEO that you are seeing here on top, and that's their logo as well. IDEO is actually the one who popularized design thinking and paved the way for a wide application of the methodology. Design thinking has been existing for quite some time, but because of IDEO, it became famous. If you are familiar with Lean Six Sigma methodology, where GE is the one who came up with the methodology, where Motorola is the one who came up with the methodology, but GE is the one who popularized it. It's the same with IDEO. IDEO is not the one who came up with design thinking. It has been existing for quite some time, but IDEO is the one who popularized design thinking. IDEO did to design thinking what GE did to Six Sigma in terms of attributing their success. Tim Brown is to IDEO's design thinking, same as Jack Welch is to GE's Six Sigma initiative. That's their comparison. By the way, allow me to again segue. If you are not familiar of what is Lean Six Sigma but interested to learn and add it to your arsenal of knowledge and technical know-how, we also have a free Six Sigma White Belt course. So you can learn also the fundamental of Lean Six Sigma. Why am I talking about it? And perhaps it will pique your interest and see what are the roles that you can also jump into once you learn Lean Six Sigma. I often say this in my post that Lean Six Sigma and Design Sprint is the best 1-2 punch combination for the modern business problem solving. And I'm not kidding. I myself is using it. I personally use it, I personally apply it, I personally recommend it because I know it works in real life business practice. So simply, let us know after you receive your certificate for this course if you are also interested either for the overview program or our free white belt course, and we will be more than happy to assist you. Going back, okay, going back to IDEO's design thinking definition by Tim Brown, he said that design thinking is a human centered approach to innovation that draws from the designer's toolkit to integrate the needs of the people, the possibilities of the technology, and the requirements for business success. Again, absorbing the definition right here, you will already see the priority. Design thinking humanizes innovation, right? Because as it says here, it's a human centered approach to innovation. So it humanizes it. It puts you, the customer, as the focus of innovation. Continuing on the definition, you will see the second important key element, which is integrating the needs of the people and the possibility of technology. This very principle, I think, what is what made design thinking famous because it boomed, or at least it reaches the peak when there was a lot of digital transformation also happening. This is why design thinking is very famous nowadays, or maybe you've heard about it, to technology-oriented companies. They want to innovate. Some even uses the word or the buzzword disrupt using the latest technology. But again, a big but, right? It's not simply about applying the latest technology. What did I tell you from the beginning about innovation? Right? I told you from the very start that an innovative idea is not one that is rare. It is the idea that is easily understood and works in solving a real life problem, right? So, applying this here, not because you use the latest technology or you are now disrupting or innovating, you just simply apply it, right? It needs to make sense. It needs to solve real life problem. Otherwise, the idea will simply get ignored. Or in business context, which a lot of us has experienced, even myself, we get our ideas rejected, right? Now, allow me to contrast it with the definition of design sprints. Contrasting the definition to design sprint, you will see a slight shift in focus. So let's review again the definition that Google Ventures used, right? Given that design sprint uses design thinking principle, meaning it is also customer oriented or it also aims to humanize innovation, the trick here is to understand where their focus lies. Okay? Look at the wordings in the definition. Design thinking use the word human-centered, needs of the people. While design sprint, let's see the definition right here, started with the word business strategy. Then at the end, it still says the purpose is to answer critical business question. Right? We will discuss the difference more later, but on a high level, right? Design thinking is very people oriented, while design sprint doesn't disregard people, as it said, it uses design thinking, but the focus is more fundamentally on the business side, right? If we just read the definition, right, it's a combination of business strategy, innovation, which is both their aim, behavior science, design thinking, and more, right? It is packed into a 4-day process. Again, I've made it 4-day because now it's 4-day before it was 5 for answering critical business question. Again, how? Through design, prototyping, and testing ideas with customer. But you see, and you will feel that the definition of design sprint is very business oriented, right? It's not bad. They have their own strength to give, right? We will tackle more the pros and the cons of this shift in focus and also how it impacts the tools they're using, because understanding this will make you realize or will give you an epiphany even why the tool and the execution itself is different, even though they are both design focused and innovation focused, right? So let's end here for now.